Hello and welcome to another episode of Alan Writes. This is 32, number 32 of the World Winter of Truth. So we're in the negotiation phase with the rebels, and it's just really just an outline at this point. You'll leave me alone forever? Probably not, but at least be clear for a while. Let's be clear for a while. Those are the best terms I can offer. As Lenore says, okay, let's consider this. I don't know. I'm starting to lose the line on this. The brush is fading. Some of that has to do with how long it's taken me to get through this. The other has to do with just that's the way it is sometimes. I have to push, and we will push. That's part of the discipline. It's part of finishing projects. To consider. How long do I have? Good question. Now, did they finally lay out that? Good question. All right. She said, the North said, finally lowered our blaster. I found lowered the blaster. Daff. Three days. Daff replied. And pinched the bridge of his nose and thought. Nose thought. Send the info to a drop. To this drop. After that, I'll assume you either couldn't or have betrayed us. You couldn't do it or have betrayed us. Why 3 days? Why 3 days? That sounds like a halibid. Sounds like a halibid time limit. Finara noted. The ISB security is pretty good, but it takes it's pretty good, and that's how long will be before the next electronic sweep. My encryption might hold up, but it also might not. That's about how long. Three days and about 4 hours. My encryption might hold, but it also might not. He said, and gave a little shrug. So, either you have it or you don't. You don't. And if I don't, you ruin me. You ruined yourself. Dad said. When you started working for the Empire. When he started working for the Empire. He's stood up and let her be. One by one, they headed toward the door. Lenore was the last to leave. He slipped her a data stick, then stood up and let her be. He passed her a data stick. Hope to hear from you soon, she said. Or you'll hear from me. You'll hear from us. Then she was gone. The rebel tossed her a key to the binders. Then she was gone. It took only a little while to free herself for Finara. Well, that's what happens. I wanted a little more action. Finara had to use her toes to turn the key and unlock the binders. The things were made to prevent self-opening. After all, they were also a standard model. Made local, sold local. And made local, sold local. Sold local. Made local and sold local in various lifestyle shops. The serial number tracked to a costume shop that dealt with a varied clientele. No leads there. Oh, no leads there. Not that she thought they would have left a trail, but it was good to know she was dealing with professionals and not some ISB agent. And an ISB agent wouldn't have bothered with the serials. Wouldn't have bothered with the serials. Likely wouldn't have bothered with the serials in that way. Pulling the binders from security stocks. Pulling the binders from security stocks, or just taking them as they left. So, likely real rebels this time. That, and Todd's presence. That and Todd's presence. Todd's return to her life meant these were real rebels. Unless the Empire had used Todd as a deep agent and was... No. I'm not going down that nerf hole with this, she told herself. Conspiracies may be complicated, but they are rarely that loosely arranged. And intricate. There are limits to all things. Unless the ISB had planned to, from the beginning, to subvert her, to endanger her, to smear her as a way of getting at Telok. If that was no, bad. Finara let out a sigh and tossed the binders away into the recycler. Into the trash. To the trash chute. Next, she checked her apartment security. They'd gotten in by using her datapad. Code, which was interesting, given that her datapad was still back on Hoth. Did those three. Again, I'm bad with names. Did Kent and the others? I don't know if I want to use. Did she really like Kent? Finara. Did Finara and the others escape? Did they transmit her codes? They transmit her codes to their sources, and then those were used here? Or did Lenore and her team just slice the computer and use the use the last code. And use the last code. Entered. She ran down the numbers. But both entries were it was impossible to say. The rebels had formatted the system to remove all traces of access, and then relayered the old security apparatus over top. Now this is difficult because it's computer hacking, and while I use a computer a lot and I do know a few small tricks, I don't know a lot about computer hacking, and this is me faking it. Hopefully it's not. All anyone would know is that there was a technical one had reformatted things perhaps disguised, had reset. That was all she could see. And that was all she could see. That brought her to her next thought. Can I do it? Can I sneak out those files? That was the question. It doesn't matter if I will do it, if I can't do it. It doesn't matter if I will do it, if I can't do it. She thought about this security arrangements at quit yards. She knew them well. She knew them well. She'd, in fact, helped code some of it. There were ways around things. Maybe not to bring a data stick through. Maybe not bring around things. There are ways around things. There might be ways around things. Could be a way around things. A way to bring a data stick in. It was, if she was wrong and got caught, then that might be her only chance. That might be her only. Then that might have ruined her only chance. She'd get put on suspension of duties, at the very least, and that would take her past the 3-day time limit. You know, I wish she had somebody to talk to about this right now, but she doesn't. Tricky, tricky. Side. All right, Dad. All right, Dad. What would you do? She asked the air, trying to imagine his voice, his presence, his hand on her shoulder. There was nothing, of course. This was just psychological trick to get her mind going. But even so, she craved just a hint of her father. Do I risk it? Do I walk in and hide the stick in my leg? They know the architecture of my leg. They know the architecture of my leg. And a data stick will stick out. Haha. Yeah, I know. It's a pun. Funny about those. Maybe I could lodge the data in my leg's banks. That takes some doing. Maybe I could crimp the software and make space. But do I? Do I trust them enough? Do I? I betray the Empire like this? And for what? A job? A few credits? A job, a few credits? What's my loyalty worth? Do I go to the ISB with this? They won't be able to do anything. They won't be able to do anything with it. Suspicion. I don't really want to undergo another interrogation. She felt tears. Form. Damn it. Blast it. Blast it. Don't be terrified like that again. It was so horrible. And I was innocent. And what? Do you think this happens to others? Innocent people are interrogated and then are they all let go? Some still imprisoned, used as bartering chips in some factional game. This isn't my empire. This, not like I expected. Not like I wanted. It's wrong. It's broken. And it needs to be fixed. And it needs to be fixed. Somehow. I don't know how. I do know that I can't do anything if I'm under arrest. So, I'll go in and get their damn info, their blasted info. It won't do them much good. Things are changing all the time. And besides, maybe I can doctor up a report that hides the details. That gives them, yeah. I'll use my original report findings. The AT-AT has no real weaknesses. Nothing really wrong with it, except that it is vulnerable to tripping and to dangerous tactics and lightsabers. So yeah, let the rebels choke on that. Choke on that for a while. I'll have to move to keep them away for a time until I can figure out how to make them pay, how to fix the empire, how to stop all this from happening again. Why can't we go back to how things were before in the Clone Wars? Back when we were all together and happy. Tears, she felt tears down her cheeks. She imagined her father before her. Blasted, she didn't want him to see her crying. Her mental image of her father reached out to her, and for a moment she could feel him. Then he was gone. And she was alone once more, with the data stick in hand. Alright, we've just had a moment where she's talking with the dead, trying to figure out what she's gonna do. And this is why she's gonna do it. She needs time. She needs time to figure things out. And along the way, we're gonna figure out what. Tomorrow, she would go into work. Tomorrow, she would download the Rebels data and buy herself some time. Okay. Chapter 9. She goes in. And we are going to, she goes in, she circumvents security in several ways. The outer layer incorporates the data stick into her leg. The architecture shift shows up on the security scan. She explains it's a patch based on her recent leg failure. I need to do the recent leg failure. She's got to reboot her leg too up top. That's whoops. She shows them the data, the programs. They accept it and let her through. They copy and accept it. But she's kept the actual program, but she's swapped the data sticks programs with her leg's internal programs. And so it doesn't matter. Basically, she's the data stick holds does in fact hold the leg's programs, but the leg's programs now holds the data stick's programs. So real toes. The lock was made. The brand was also Lily's there, she thought. She thought. As she as she worked beside her computer to restore her legs function. It took a while to download the new non-compromised by stun blast. Non-compromised by stun blast articulation programs. Okay, that works. She thought she worked beside her. She thought I had to use. Then she dragged herself over to her computer. Her cybernetic leg and anchor to every motion. Once there, she did a quick search for what she needed. The binder brand. It took a while to download it, and that gave her plenty of time to think. Non-compromised. The new non-compromised by stun blast articulation programs. All right, well that'll have to do. So I know how she's going to get it in. I know what trick she's going to use to do that. She has to bypass security to download to a non-sanctioned device. Basically changes her legs identifying system to that of her workstation and downloads the fresh files. Importantly, copies those same files to her workstation so that the chain of evidence, the chain of possession, so that there is no synchronization problem. Basically, she's doing it's a little like a man in the middle. Maybe we could just do the man in the middle. Man in the middle attack. Basically a man in the middle attack. Then she's called into Tellock's office. He makes an ass of himself. About her first day back, about her loading her old presentation of data, tells her to erase her original findings, and oversight. Now that the, what do we call it? Now that the, an oversight. and a potentially annoying one. Now that the official view of the AT-AT has been accepted. Well, the AT-AT destroy. Has this happened before? Of course. There can only be one official version of events. She realizes that Telok is part of the problem. A problem she can force him to confront if she sells him out to the rebels. And potentially annoying one. Offers over the changed reports. Report dialogues for documents indicating what has been altered. Okay. But a single copy sent to him. And that he has them all in a separate and illegal data cache. Enough to put him in hot water with the ISB, should they know of it. It's minor stuff, but enough for them to blackmail him. This keeps her conscience clear. No troopers will die because of her actions. That's her justification, and she's sticking to it. All right, that should take us there. It's an outline that's practically the chapter. It's a summary. And however you want to pull this together with your own writing, this is how it's done. You get a download page, you figure out what works, what doesn't, you discard what doesn't work, and you write what does. And in the process, you'll develop things, you'll find things, characters will reveal themselves, choices will form, and details will ask to be explored. And we move from there. And that's how writing is done. We're getting near the end. Basically, once Finara offers this to the rebels, and convinces the rebels will accept, because they'll demand a meeting, which I should put down. Rebels will arrange a meeting so she can explain this to them. She's not the agent. Telok is. Thanks. Thanks a lot. Telok is. Doesn't even ask for a thanks. And yeah, you'll contact me again. I expect it, but don't think I'll make it easy. I'm here to fix things, not partake in a revolution. I am not a revolutionary girl. I'm not a revolutionary girl. And she walks away. Away. Free in a complicated world. Free enough in a complicated world. Yeah, that'll be the walkaway line. Or close to it, something like that. Anyway, this has been Alan Wright's The Winter of Truth. We're getting near the end. Gotta push, gotta finish it up. If I don't finish it up, well then, it's like it never happened. It's a broken butterfly trying to glide in the breeze. And it'll spiral down to the ground and it'll stay there. Alright, but that's a depressing enough thought. I hope people have enjoyed this. I hope it's found something in it for you to inspire you. And I hope you stay safe out there. Have a good day. Thanks.